What is going on, good people of YouTube? I'm ImJslay. Thank you so much for joining me, and wherever you are, I hope you're having a great day. Today we're playing some Madden 21, but before we get into it, if you enjoy the content, leave a like rating, and if you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button and turn the notification bell on to stay updated with all of my uploads. If you missed our previous video, I'll leave a link in the description of this video for you to go check it out. It's one you don't want to miss. I show you a coin making method out of the 86 overall team builder set. It's going to make you an unlimited amount of coins. Be sure to check that video out. So for today's video, I've got something a little different on the channel here, and it's something that was requested by a few of you guys, so I thought I would go ahead and make a video on it. We are going to be showing you a mini scheme out of the trips tight end formation. This is not the full playbook by any means, but this is a scheme that you can go run and head-to-head that is going to get you wins. You're not going to go 25-0 in weekend league by any means, but this is going to be something that you can implement. It's going to get you started in running and building a good offense. So, little peek behind the curtain, I forgot to record this part, which is why what you've seen and what you're going to see face cam wise is going to be a lot lighter in the background. It's dark right now because as I'm editing this, I realized I forgot to do this part, so just a little peek behind the curtain. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into everything regarding this mini scheme out of trips tight end. Okay, so the first thing we want to do before we ever even call a play is we want to make sure that we've got the right personnel as well as the right audibles. Now, for this offense, me specifically, I have a gunslinger at quarterback, I have a backfield master, a tight end apprentice, and then at your discretion, you can put other abilities on your wide receivers. I currently have a route tech as well as a grab-and-go receiver. So, without further ado, now let's go ahead, let's hop in to the actual offense itself. Okay, so we are in the Las Vegas Raiders playbook here. Now, the first thing with personnel we want to set up is at the running back, we want our backfield master. At the tight end, we want our tight end apprentice. That goes without saying, right? For the wide receivers, this is where it's going to get a little different. So, at the slot receiver right here, we actually want to put a running back, and I'll touch on this a little bit more later on in the video. On the outside, you want your fastest receiver. So, I'm actually going to put Chris Godwin right here, and then on the inside receiver is where you want your best route runner, so I'm going to put Mike Evans right here at this position. Okay, as far as our audibles go, for square, you want to come down and you want to actually have that set as curl flat. We're going to leave triangle as inside zone. For L1, we're actually going to set that up as inside cross, and then for R1, we are going to go with PA counter go. So it should look just like this: curl flat, inside zone, inside cross, and PA counter go. Now the play that I'm going to always break the huddle with is going to be doubles and sail. This allows me to have up to 5 plays at my disposal when you consider our audibles, right? So we're going to go ahead and call doubles and sail here. Now for the formation, the first thing we're going to do is just run a very common formation here. We're going to run this cover 3 sky drop out of nickel 3-3-5. So let's go ahead and actually respot the ball here first. Okay, the first thing that you want to make sure you do is have your wide receivers to the wide side of the field. This is just going to allow you for better spacing to run these plays. Now, when we come out in this doubles or in this sail formation here, the only adjustment we're going to make here if we're going to run this play is we're going to streak LaShawn McCoy. So it's going to look just like this, right? One thing you could do, just to give a little bit different look if you want to, is you can put Chris Godwin on a smart route at in route. So basically just smart route the route that he's already on, right? So this is cool because you want to have some plays that you can come out and just quick hike. That gives the defense less opportunities for them to set up. So what we're going to do is now we're just going to snap the ball. The first read's going to be R1, and he's open there. As you can see, their safety played out of his mind there. He lit up like a freak. But let's go ahead and pause it, and let's go ahead and actually just take a look at the replay here and see what we were working with, right? So the tight end and the running back have a nice route right here, right? Nice little high-low combination there when we talk about Gronkowski and then Ronald Jones's route there. The table route's always going to be your first read, but we could have definitely fit the ball into Gronkowski if we low passed it here. So your eyes are going to work from right to left here, right? Nothing's open there. Then you're going to start to work to the left side of the field. Now, the more you run this route, the more your opponent's user is going to start to cheat over. He's probably going to put someone in the flat here, and he may cheat over to try to user this route right here. And then you're going to be looking for Chris Godwin coming across the middle of the field right here and try to find and hit him somewhere here. Now, a good user, a good opponent is going to be able to take away this tight end route and then work his way back to this route right here. So that's why you don't want to rely on this play all the time, right? But that's how it's going to look here. We'll run this play one more time and try to actually throw the ball to Gronkowski here. So we're going to streak him. Let's put Godwin on a smart route and in route. And now let's go ahead and hike the ball. And then we want to low pass it to Gronkowski. And as you can see, getting that little triangle right in that center point of the triangle there. Let's go ahead and just replay that. Once again, the more you do this play, the more your opponent is going to get familiar with it. He's going to be looking for it. He's most likely going to have someone out here covering the flats. He's going to user this here, and then you're going to want to look for someone in the middle here, or even Mike Evans's route over here, because this zone should be dropping out a little bit farther before the ball is passed, right? So McCoy's route here should be taking these two guys, the corner and the safety, out of the play there. That could leave Evans open right here, but that is going to be your ultimate last read, right? That's just if absolutely everything is broken down. But as you can see, go ahead and low pass this. It's going to get right in, fit right into that little triangle there between the corner, the linebacker, and the safety. So that's the first play. Okay, now we're going to take a look at probably my favorite play out of this formation, and that is going to be PA counter go. Now we're going to go ahead and call the same defense here. We're going to go ahead and call this cover 3 sky drop out of 3-3-5, very popular formation. So, okay, so this is how I like to set this play up. So I'm going to streak Gronkowski. I'm going to put Fournette on a flat route, and then I'm going to put McCoy on a slant. I'm going to have Godwin stay on the streak that he's on. And then what I'm going to do is motion over and motion hike McCoy's slant route here. We're going to look for the table route first. If that's not there, most likely with cover 3, Mike Evans's route is going to be open a lot of the time, right? Let's go ahead. Let's go back and actually take a look at the replay. Just take a look at what this looks like from an offensive and defensive side of the ball, right? So the table route, not necessarily open here. This corner looks like he's crashing down, or the safety looks like he's crashing down on that. So then we're going to look at the slant route right here, and it looks like this is covered right here. We're going to have to wait for this to come open some. However, it does look like this safety or this linebacker is going to kind of crash down here. He's in that hook curl there, so it's causing him to come through. But because of that, that's going to allow Mike Evans's route right here to come wide open, right? And so you can low pass this. You can directional pass it to the sidelines. You don't want to pass lead it up in this direction here because of the corner right here that's in that deep third, right? So as you can see, wide open right there. Gronkowski's route, as you can see, is taking this safety and this corner's attention, which causes Mike Evans to come open, right? If there was no one in the middle of the field, right? If there was not a user, this is a spy right here, right? But this is most likely going to be a user. If he's not in the middle of the field, you can see that this slant is going to be open. And then Godwin's streak over here, just leave it on the field. I mean, you could play around with it, but it's good because it does go ahead and throw this corner well out of the play. And then if you throw the slant late, the only guy that you really have to worry about is this curl flat right here, who is now all the way out here in no man's land. And as you can see, you've got wide open field right here. So a lot of different ways that you can beat the defense with this play. Now, this is in cover 3. Let's say, for example, they come out in cover 2. Okay, so if you notice your opponent is coming out in cover 2, quite often you are going to set this up very similarly, but just a little bit different. So you're going to put still Ronald Jones on the table route. Instead of streaking Gronkowski, this is where your tight end apprentice is going to come in. You want to actually put him on a post route. You're going to leave Mike Evans's route the same. You're going to put McCoy on a hitch, and you're going to put Chris Godwin on a smoke screen. So it's going to look like this, right? So you don't have anything really stretching the field here, but this is what is going to look like here. Let's go ahead and snap the ball. So I've got a couple different options here. We're going to go back into the replay, and I'm going to show you, you're going to make the user have to work on this play. That's one thing that is very, very good about this trips tight end, and just the way the spacing is with this offense, the user's really going to have to work. He's not going to be able to take plays off at all and let his defense and let the CPU make plays for him. So let's take a look. First read's always going to be the table route. We could have thrown the table route. As you can see, the cloud flat right here initially is being taken away by Gronkowski's route, which doesn't look like it could be a streak, it could be a corner, it could be a post, it could be anything at this point, right? So we could have thrown the table route here. You're going to get about 5 to 10 yards right there. Easy, right? But now let's work our way, though, and look at our read progression here where we have the middle of the field here, right? So once again, there's going to be a user most likely somewhere in here, and if he is used to you beating him with Chris Godwin over here, he may end up running with Godwin out into this area here, in which case then Gronkowski is going to be able to clear the linebacker here, and then the hitch route and the flat route here, this linebacker, this safety is sitting right on this hitch route, so that allows you to throw in this area here to hit Gronkowski, who is wide open. I never rack catch this at all. I always possession catch it, because as soon as I rack catch it, this corner is going to come over and he's going to make just a basic tackle, and it's going to cause my tight end, even with 99 catching, to drop the ball. I can promise you that, right? But that's how you want to do it, right? So if the user starts to run with Gronkowski, as you can see, we've got Mike Evans, who is wide open right here. You want to low pass this. You want to pass lead it to the sidelines, because this safety, depending on how good the safety is, can definitely make a play on the ball. So keep in mind, you're still going to have to work and do a little bit with the stick there and with your low passes. However, you can see there is a lot going on in this play. And worst case scenario, if you're just completely flustered and don't know what read to make here, you can hit this smoke screen for about 5 to 10 yards as well, right? Wait till Gronkowski's route clears to about right here. This guy stops. You definitely don't want to wait any further, because most likely he is going to, as you can see, before the ball is thrown, he is starting to work his way back up here, right? So in this timeline right here is when you want to, if you just wanted to throw that smoke screen, you could do that as well, right? So that's cover 2, that's cover 3 with the play that we just set up there. Okay, so we've taken a look as to how to beat cover 2, how to beat cover 3, some of the plays that you're going to have at your disposal in this mini scheme for those formations. Now let's take a look and see how we're going to beat man coverage. So this is the play you're going to come out in. This is curl flat. So what you want to do first here, just working right to left, we're going to put Gronkowski on a streak, taking the safety, taking that linebacker, hopefully taking them out of the play. We're going to actually put our backfield master on a Texas route. He was on a delayed Texas route. We want to put him on a Texas route with no delay. For Mike Evans's route, this is going to be the special route of the formation, and why you want a route technician here. All we're going to do is smart route the route that he is currently on. I will mention, you don't want to call this play when you have about 5 yards or less to go. You want to have at least 5 to 10 yards to go, if not be a lot closer to the 10-yard range, just because that smart routed route is going to act a lot different the closer you are to the line of scrimmage. Next, you want to put McCoy on a flat route. He's already on a flat route, but you need to go in and actually put him on a flat route, because we're going to be motioning him over. If we don't do that, his flat is going to actually go to the middle of the field and act more like a drag, in which we need it to actually go towards the flat. Finally, we're going to put Godwin on a smoke screen. So it's going to look like this initially, and what we're going to do pre-snap is motion McCoy over, and the first read is going to be Mike Evans. As you can see, the flat does switch over. First read is going to be Mike Evans. If that's there, which it looks like it's going to be, we're going to hit him. Bam, secure catch that, and we got big gains there. That's why you want to have a route tech right here, because a route technician, and Mike Evans doesn't even have route technician, I don't believe, but a route technician is going to allow him to beat his man a lot better, especially when you consider the higher overalls in the game right now. So let's take a look and see what happened here. So Gronkowski is taking the linebacker out of the play here. This safety is also kind of, he has the middle responsibility, so because of Gronkowski's route, he's going to be shading more towards where Gronk is going. Now, watch this in the middle of the field right here. Fournette is going to absolutely destroy, or that's Ronald Jones rather, I believe. Ronald Jones is going to absolutely, it might be Fournette, I don't know. It's going to absolutely destroy his man right here, this linebacker. So, we got Mike Evans right here, who is actually double covered. However, he's got to step on Snead. And this guy right here, his responsibility is a hook curl, so he hasn't completely played this just yet, right? So that's where we were able to get this, pass lead it up, pass lead it to the sideline to hit Mike Evans. But look at Ronald Jones's route, and because we put Chris Godwin on a smoke screen here, this corner is just sitting right here. There is nobody in the middle of the field here, right? We can pass lead this. You don't even necessarily need to pass lead it. You just want to rack catch it with Fournette or Jones or whoever this is. And you're going to get a big gain, right? Depending on how fast the running back is, the only man you've got to beat is this safety right here, right? Depending on how his pursuit is, how fast he is, you may be able to beat him and score a touchdown on this play, right? So this is my favorite man-beating route. You can see, and the reason you want to flat route him here is it's going to pull this guy down, right? So that's just going to be one less person that Mike Evans is going to have to worry about getting deep over here, right? But the user probably going to end up using one of these two guys, right? He's going to either use Mike Evans or Ronald Jones. As you can see, if he decides to use a Ronald Jones, you got Mike Evans. Let's say he's using this guy right here, right? You got Mike Evans who's wide open. He's got a step. Then we could go ahead and actually probably possession catch this. I'm sorry, rack catch it. If he uses this route here. But if he, as in this scenario would appear, is using Mike Evans, then we can go ahead and hit Ronald Jones here, probably for a touchdown, right? So one of my favorite man-beating routes in the game right here is this play out of trips tight end. Okay, so the final play that we're going to touch on here in this video is going to be inside cross. So pre-snap, it's going to look like this. And this is a very easy one to set up. All you're going to do is put Gronkowski on a smart routed out route. That's it. Now, I'm going to slide my protection over to the right here to hopefully give me some better time. But this is going to be our cover 3 beater. So if you notice they're coming out in cover 3, you want to hit them for a bomb, right? Either you want to put the game away or you need a big play to get back into the game. We're going to look for Chris Godwin's route here. So basically, this is how we want to set it up. Now, we've got some other options underneath here if we need to, but this is what we want to do. We're going to snap the ball. I'm going to try to get outside just a bit. And once he clears the safety, that's when we're going to throw it. Now, Tom Brady's arm is not nearly as good as, say, a Josh Allen, a Brett Favre, a Rich Gannon, a Dante Culpepper, and so on and so forth. But let's take a look at the replay and see what happened there, right? So what we're going to have here is Gronkowski's route is going to take this corner here, and believe it or not, it's actually going to cause this corner to not drop back into his cover 3 zone, right? He's got this deep third right here, but as you can see, this route here is actually, for whatever reason, caused him to play about right here, so he's not completely dropping back, right? The other routes that we've got on the middle of the field here is going to be Ronald Jones, who's just on a little delayed hitch. And then we've got Chris Godwin over the middle of the field. Is that Chris Godwin? That is not. That is McCoy, right? So that's going to be your running back over the middle of the field. Godwin, right? He's running the deep route, right? So over the middle of the field, right? So you've got a little read there, depending on what this linebacker wants to do. You also have Mike Evans, who's running that crossing route. So you could actually hit this for about maybe 2 to 3 yards. 2 to 3. You could hit it probably about 5 to 7 yards, right? Looking at the way this looks. So, but Gronk's route's the most important one here because it's going to take this guy right here and draw him up some to where he feels like he has a responsibility to be right here. That's going to cause Chris Godwin, once he clears the face of the safety here, to be wide open, right? So we are going to pass lead that. Now, Josh Allen, Brett Favre, they're going to be able to get this out about right here to where you'd be able to rack catch that, probably end up scoring a touchdown, right? Brady's arm's just not that strong. But as you can see right there, this play is going to be your beater. This is what you're going to call if you need a big play, if you need something to get you back into the game, or if you're just trying to put the game away, right? So that's how it looks. You got your crosser right here that you can hit in the flat for a couple of yards. If, say this, for example, is taken away, you've also got the middle of the field right here. If the user wants to drop up and wants to play this crosser right here, you can hit him for a few yards. And then you've also got LaShawn McCoy coming over the middle of the field here as well, if this is wide open too, right? So that's how you want to construct this passing offense, just a little mini scheme out of this trips tight end formation. Okay, finally, I do want to touch on a couple of run plays that you can have at your disposal if your opponent comes out in obvious coverage formations, right? So let's go through it. The first one is just this straight up inside zone play. Now, I'm talking if they're coming specifically out and say big dime, let's say $326, right? It would be big dime 146 most likely, but this looks very similar, right? So let's just say they come out in something like this right? And you notice that they don't have a lot of guys that are up around the line of scrimmage. You can call this inside zone play right here, and depending on whether they know how to play this or not, you should get about 5 to 7 yards on every single play. If they've got inside stuff, it's going to make it a little harder, but as you can see, just right here, right? So that's going to be inside zone. Another play that I don't call near as often, however, can still hit for a big play, is going to be this HB counter. Same thing, you want to call this if you notice that they're in obvious passing formations, right, on the defensive side of the ball. So this HB counter is just going to give them a little different look, especially if they're used to you calling inside zone plays. The user could come over, and then you're just going to find the hole, right? Your running back's always going to get some kind of stutter step. That's probably just me having bad stick. But you're just going to look for where the hole is. Take a second before you go ahead and try to user him to get that speed burst. Let him establish where his running path is going to be. Then you want to take over, get that speed burst, go right through the hole from the pulling guard and then the tackle most likely. And that should net you a few yards, right? So it's not going to work all the time, so I do just mix this in sparingly. But this is another run play. Now let's show you one final run play that you have at your disposal. Okay, before I show the run play, I do want to touch on this, and this is why in your trips tight end formation, you want to sub a running back at that slot wide receiver position, because if your opponent is coming out in obvious passing defensive formations, you can audible down into I form close and hit them with this power running play, and you can just hurry this up and keep that same personnel on the field and go all the way down the field with it. So the reason you want to do that is you can audible down into this formation right here because you have the same personnel on the field that you would have in this I form close, right? Now, I do like to set up these audibles right here first. So on your first play, you want to get your right personnel in for your trips tight end and set those audibles up first. On the second play, come to I form close here and go ahead and set these audibles up as well. The first one I like to have is wide receiver out. This is actually not a terrible play that you can actually call when your opponent knows it's going to be obvious running formations obvious running downs, and now they're starting to run commit, right? So that's going to be square. Triangle, you just want to lead as HB dive. L1 is going to be power O, and then R1 is actually going to be HB stretch, right? So the stretch is not going to be near as effective as it was at the beginning of the launch of Madden 21, but still can be effective in certain situations, right? So this is what your audibles are going to look like. Now I'm going to show you what this looks like. Let's come out here in trips tight end, and let's just call our doubles in sale play. And now we're going to come out in a dollar formation on defense, right? So an obvious passing formation. They're trying to stop your pass. They're getting more safeties. They're getting more corners out on the field. They want to stop. They want to lock down your pass, right? So you see this, and now what we can actually do is we can audible down. We can come over to I form, if I can find it, I form close, and you can either call HB lead dive, power O, or stretch. Right now we're going to call power O. So now we're going to audible down. Now they're in this obvious passing formation, and this is going to be a much better option for you in running the ball, because you can see you're going to get about 4 to 5 yards on every single play. Let's go ahead and do the same thing, but we're going to actually come down. You can actually just literally hit right on the D-pad, and it's going to go to I form close, and we're going to audible down into now HB dive. So this is calling a dive right up the middle. I can actually flip this by hitting the right stick, either right or left, right? The fullback is not flipping, so just keep that in mind. We're just going to call this right up the field, and then we're going to make a read, right? We're going to see where that linebacker, that right side linebacker, is going to be, what gap he's going to be taking, and then we are going to either bounce it to the left, or you're going to take it straight up the middle when you are looking at his read, right? So let's take a look at this again, and now we can not run into our backside of our center. We don't definitely not want to do that, but you're just going to make a read to see which hole that you are going to hit, right? So if the defense comes out in these obvious passing downs, obvious passing formations rather, you're going to audible down, and you can, as you can see, have the worst stick in the world when you try to stop and go. Try to juke out the safety. Doesn't work, right? So let's go back. We'll call this power O play again. Just to show you how this looks, you can flip this power O play as well without having to actually flip the formation, just by pressing left on the stick. So that looks good there. But Obviously, we just want to look to see where our personnel matches up with their personnel, right? Do they have more players on the left side of the ball or the right side of the ball? And then that's where typically we want to try to run it, right? So we're just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 on the right side, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the left side. So you can really just kind of pick and choose here, right? We do have a tight end on the right side of the field, so we're probably going to pick the right side of the field to run the ball here, and then we're just going to make a read, right? So that didn't work out too well for us there. But you can take that knowledge, and then you can come down and say, all right, well, what happens if I run to the left side of the field here, right? That is the wide side of the field. Maybe just typically the way the CPU plays, maybe we can get a better run here, and it actually does open up a little better for us, as you can see there. So just another play that you have at your disposal. The reason that you want to have a wide receiver or a running back subbed in where you would normally have wide receiver is for these reasons right here. Okay, so that is going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed a little different style of video here, just kind of peeking in, seeing what I like to do on offense. Hopefully you can use this little mini scheme. This is definitely not going to be something that you'll be able to just use exclusively and think you're going to go 25-0 in Weekend League. That's not going to happen, but this can give you the tools to help you build an offense around this scheme that I have showed you here. So if you did enjoy the video, leave a like rating. If you've got a question related to the video, a comment, something I didn't clearly explain, or if you just want to say what's up, leave that in the comment section down below. I love interacting with each and every one of you down there. And if you'd like to see more content, hit the subscribe button and turn the notification bell on to stay updated with all of my uploads. I'm ImJslay, signing out today. I'll catch you all on my next video.